Welcome. Trauma is my jam, and by that I mean I help you understand what your body is doing. Let's make sense of it together.
Hello friends, welcome back. This is Trauma to Triumph. Today we are going to be talking about hypervigilance. So, have you ever walked into a room and instantly scanned for exits? Or felt like your chest tightened when somebody's tone changed slightly? Or you noticed that you are constantly on, even when nothing is technically wrong? Since trauma is my jam, let me help you understand what your body is doing. That might not just be anxiety. It might be hypervigilance. Hypervigilance is a nervous system survival response. It develops most often in environments that were unpredictable. An unpredictable trauma does not always mean obvious violence. Unpredictable trauma can look like growing up never knowing what version of the parent you are coming home to is. Maybe they were sick often, maybe they were angry, maybe they felt emotionally unavailable, or maybe they were loving and regulated. The unpredictability is the trauma. So never knowing what you were going to be coming home to is unpredictable trauma. All right, when the brain cannot predict safety, it learns to monitor constantly. So let's take a look at what's happening inside your brain. The amygdala, whose primary job is threat detection and survival, becomes highly sensitive. The amygdala's job is simple. It's to scan for danger, to keep you alive. Also, your prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for reasoning, logic, and assessing whether something is actually safe in the moment, can get overridden when the amygdala is activated. So instead of calmly evaluating the situation, your prefrontal cortex cannot do that. Your brain defaults to something could go wrong, stay ready, stay alert. Now, for me, because I experienced unpredictability growing up, my nervous system learned that I needed to be prepared at all times. So today, when I walk into a new room, especially one I'm unfamiliar with, the first thing my brain does is scan for the exits. It scans for threats, it creates plans, and it assesses where I would go if something did go down. So much so and so noticeable that my friends always joke that if shit goes down, they're just going to find Pam because they know Pam already has the exit plan. So, this is my amygdala doing its job. It is trying to keep me safe. And it activates thoughts like, where are the exits? Who feels safe and who feels unpredictable and unsafe? And what is the energy in this room? Meanwhile, my prefrontal cortex is also online saying, you know these people, this is a baby shower and you are safe. But the amygdala is faster and louder. Remember, trauma responses are automatic. So automatically, I have that scanning of the rooms long before my prefrontal cortex can try to reason with me. And even then, the amygdala normally wins. So, when I enter a new space and hypervigilance activates, my eyes and ears are scanning constantly. I notice subtle changes in tone. I watch body language. I read the mood shifts in the room. I people watch, but not in the sense out of curiosity. I am sensing and watching people for signs of danger. I am often the first person to sense when something is off because I'm constantly scanning. Physically, I hold all my tension in my shoulders and my upper back. My jaw tightens. My breath becomes shallow. I feel anxious and uncomfortable in my own skin. Even if nothing is wrong. Even if I'm in a room surrounded by mostly people I know who are safe and are good to me. Even if I'm somewhere where I want to enjoy myself and it's like a baby shower, it's a fun, it's exciting, it's about gathering and celebrating together. So even if that's the situation, my hypervigilance trauma response activates anyways. And staying in that state of hypervigilance is taxing. Chronic hypervigilance keeps stress hormones elevated, it drains your energy, and it can lead to headaches, muscle pain, digestive issues, and most certainly fatigue. It is exhausting to be on high alert. There have been times in my life where just knowing that I had to attend an event somewhere, it would make me physically ill beforehand. Not because I didn't want to celebrate someone, but because my system knew that it would be working overtime at the event. So, I want to talk about the difference between hypervigilance and sensory overwhelm, because they can look similar, but they feel different. And they're being caused by different things. So hypervigilance is all about safety. It's that being on high alert. So when I enter a room, I'm watching people, I'm watching tone, I'm watching body, and I'm watching mood shifts. I am analyzing constantly so that if something happens, not only am I going to be the first to know, I also know how the hell to get out. It is the focus on threat detection. And the question underneath constantly is, am I safe? Whereas sensory overwhelm is different. And I know about sensory overwhelm because brain injury. So for me, especially after the brain injury, sensory overwhelm is about input overload. So lights feeling harsh, noise feeling amplified, movements feeling chaotic, smells and textures becoming too much. This is not about scanning for danger. This is about my nervous system absorbing too much stimulation at one time. So too much stimulation for my brain to handle. The underlying question with sensory overload is this too much? Hypervigilance is high alert around safety, and sensory overwhelm is overload from too much input. Different roots and different experiences. Now, trauma has been my primary focus both personally and professionally for well over 2 decades. I have done a tremendous amount of work to understand and release trauma responses in my body. My hypervigilance has improved immensely, but it still shows up. And for years, I felt ashamed of that. I would give myself a pep talk before going into an event. Like I would say, okay, Pam, we're safe. We're going into this baby shower. We know the majority of the people. This is a fun time. This is a time of celebration. Nobody is here with ill intent. You are safe to go in and enjoy this event. And 30 seconds after walking in, I start scanning for exits. I used to feel so defeated. I used to ask myself, how can I help others regulate trauma responses when I can't completely overcome this one? Like, who am I to help people release themselves from these automatic trauma responses that they have built in if I can't do it myself? But here's what I've learned. Healing is not about never being activated again. Trauma responses are automatic, and healing is about not staying there. So today, when hypervigilance activates, I notice it, I acknowledge it, I remind my system we are safe. Sometimes, if I need to, I use a regulation exercise. Sometimes it passes quickly on its own, so I don't need to. Simply the acknowledgement, the reminder that I'm safe is enough. But what I don't do is I don't shame myself for it anymore. I notice and honor that it is a survival response that was built in, that has been used to protect me. So its intentions are good. It does not mean I fail if I go to a new event and I find myself scanning for the exits. It just means that my nervous system is adapting still. And progress means it activates less intensely, less frequently, and for shorter periods of time. That is healing. And that is why trauma is my jam. Because I want you to understand what's going on in your body instead of fighting it, instead of shaming it. I want you to understand it so that you can learn how to work with it and move from those trauma responses into new responses of safety. All right, friends, that is it for my little video today. If this resonated with you, I want you to know something important. You are not overreacting. There is nothing wrong with you. This is your nervous system, which has been forced to learn to try to protect you. And together, with acknowledgement, education, and building new responses, we can teach it something new. We can learn new reactions. And we can learn to put these old trauma responses to bed. If you found this helpful, I invite you to subscribe so we can keep building nervous system literacy together. And if you're interested in diving into your own personal healing journey in more depth and working with me, my information is it's in the description in the bio. Lastly, I thank you for the opportunity to be able to share this with you all today. And wherever you are on your journey, I am grateful that you are here and we are walking this path together. I'm wishing you so much love and healing. Best wishes, my friends.